Hi. Let's talk a little about the full moon Scorpio that we have on Monday. That full moon is going to be a full moon that has aspects with both Mercury and Pluto that are going to make it very difficult for you not to look at the things that you need to look in terms of your spiritual bypassing and the things that you need to address about your own spiritual life and your personal life that you have been avoiding. This full moon, because of the aspects it has, and because it's in Scorpio, digs very deep into things that we're trying to avoid and really not address in our own lives. Things that keep us in situations and relationships and doing things that are out of integrity in a way, and that we are trying to kind of put our head into the sand, into the earth like an ostrich, and not look at it. These things are things that have to do with also spiritual bypassing, because there's like a square, it's called the Devil's Square, that is formed also during this transit, and has to do with the way we have given away our spiritual authority and power to gurus, ministers, the church, religion, yoga, whatever you're doing in terms of your path, that you still believe that the answer is the path without understanding that the answer is not the path. The answer is dealing with your own shadow, dealing with your self-destructive behaviors, dealing with the lack of boundaries that you have because of lack of self-worth or whatever reason you have those problems with your boundaries. And these things are going to become very evident. They must be starting to come up already, because this full moon obviously is on Monday, but you start to feel it way before, like a week or 2 weeks before and 2 weeks afterwards. So we're going to be dealing with this also next weekend. Also, there's a Sabian symbol that is connected to this moon, which is the it's funny, it's the bunny transforms into a butterfly. So there's a deep transformation indicated in the process. So this is not something that you can avoid, that the transformation is going to happen, the information is going to come up, and there's something in you that's going to change in terms of your spiritual life. Also, there's another symbol that it's connected to the degree in Taurus that these things are having aspects with, which has to do with the jewelry shop. And the meaning of that is that we're going to be more aware of the fact that we are letting ourselves be fooled in a way by the sparkly things that the guru, the minister, the church, whatever it is, has been showing us, and that there's no substance in it, that we're really not doing anything deep with our spiritual life. And this is a process to help you regain authority over your process, and to see clearly that you are not allowed to spiritual bypass things, that your process is your process. If you're not doing shadow work, you're not doing spiritual work. I don't care how many times you go to church during a week. I don't care how many times you serve other people. But if you're not working with your shadow, which is a lifelong pursuit, you're not doing the spiritual work. Okay? Shadow work is very important, and shadow work involves recognizing the darkness. I know so many people that want to live in a way that they don't want to see anything negative in anyone. They don't want to see anything negative anywhere. That is fooling yourself, and that's spiritual bypassing, right? These people that do spiritual bypassing, they entertain themselves, or they keep themselves very busy with different things. You can be a workaholic. You can be someone that is always in need to be around other people. You might always be like, maybe, I don't know, traveling and getting away and trying to not deal with what you have to deal. You can be like obsessive with your practices, your spiritual practices. That's another way of spiritual bypassing, because you're not doing shadow work. So this is a moment where you're going to be faced with all the things that you're doing that in appearance they seem to be leading you towards spiritual development, but they're not. And you're going to see it more clearly. Obviously, if you want to. Well, you'll see it. But what you do with it is what is important. Okay? So it's not an easy moon, especially if you have not been doing the work. It's going to be in your face. But it's an opportunity, a great opportunity to see if you really are doing the spiritual work, the shadow work. If you're not able to see darkness, you're not able to work with it. You have to look at it. You have to look at your own darkness. People who do not see the darkness in other people, it's because they can see them in themselves. And that's scary and dangerous. That's a person that will have no integrity because they don't see the truth. They want to see half of it. And you cannot deal with things that you can't see or identify. How can you cure an illness that you cannot name or identify? It's not possible. Well, with intuition maybe, but you still have to know there's something there to heal, and you still have to see it. Does that make sense? So let's work with this, and good luck. I love you all. By the way, I'm getting better. My body shut down for 3 weeks. This is why I had not been posting. This is an initiation, and my initiations are always dramatic, fast, and very conscious. Everybody's going through this process. Some people are going to go through it very unconsciously, very slowly. And it's not going to be as dramatic, but it's going to be constant. I've always liked to do things fast and get over them quickly. It's in my gene keys. One of my gene keys says that my life is like a hero's journey story, that most people would not believe all the things that I've been through. And when I read that, I just started laughing, because that's exactly how I feel. I've lived so many things, good and bad, in my life that seem incredible, and they have been incredible. But that's my path, and people have different paths. Mine is like this. But we are all at some point going to have to deal with the curriculum. That's Course in Miracles. The curriculum is set. The only thing that you can do is choose when to take the courses and pass them. You have to take them. So you decide, is it now? You're going to do it, or you're going to still suffer and suffer and suffer and wait and deal with it later. That's always your choice and your free will. But if you're not doing shadow work, you're not doing the work. Love you, people.